What's going on, guys? How's everybody doing? So today I really don't got much planned. I'm waiting for parts to come in. I started kind of working on the wiring harness. It's kind of a mess, and I think I found out that this is not going to work. The reason being, the engine I bought for my truck was out of a van, and the vans are a little different than the truck ones. I'm sure you can get it to work. I'm just not smart enough to, so I ordered a harness from a truck. I'm going to rewire it that way because all the pins match up, and the ones for the vans are a little different. It's an 03, but it's wired kind of like the 99 through 02s, so I don't know. Some of the connectors are different colors, and I'm just not into it. Anyway, and this is the 350 that came out of the 98 last week. It's pretty rough. I mean, the pine needles because I drove home with the intake manifold off, obviously, but not a big deal. It needs to be taken apart and cleaned anyway. Yeah, when it was running, it was not running very well, and it turned out to be a 2-bolt main, unfortunately. You can see that. And by that I mean the main bolts. There's only 2. I was really hoping it was going to be a 4, but I wasn't really expecting it to be. It does still, however, have the crosshatch, which isn't bad. So really, it just needs to be pressure washed, maybe dipped in a solvent tank or whatever. New bearings. I would replace the cam, but if that was me, but I'm just going to sell it, hopefully. Back to the wiring harness. I'm going to run into town, and actually one of my subs lives in Sparks, pretty close to where I do, and he swapped a 5.3 into his, I believe it's a 72 pickup. Really sweet. He did his own harness, so I was going to pick his brain and see how he did it, because the wiring isn't so much what's getting me, it's the fuse box and wiring in those and the relays. So see how he did it and show you guys his sweet truck. Here's the Vortec heads off the 350. Even though the engine wasn't really the best engine Chevy ever made, these heads are like the best 350 heads you can get. So these I probably will keep and clean up and use on whatever small block I end up building in the future. But again, that's a different story. So the NNBS or TBSS intake manifold, I need your guys' help. I really want to get it on, and I also really want to get it ported. Problem is, it's $400 for the porting service, and I have to ship it. And you gain about, they say 15 to 20 wheel horsepower, which is a noticeable difference, but do you guys think it's worth the $400? If it's something you guys want to see, then I'll make it happen, but if not, I'll just probably just stick it in there. I still plan on getting the heads done. Oh, let me get the keys. So I currently have 799 heads. They are completely stock 799 heads. For a stock 6-liter, I think they'd be fine, but because I have the cam and whatnot, and I'm going to be running the bigger intake manifold, I think it'd probably be a good idea to get them ported, especially with the big 1 7/8 headers. I don't want it to be restrictive at all. Regardless, I'm going to get these, or whatever ones, milled 30 thousandths to raise the compression even more. Right now, I'm at about 10.5 to 1, I believe. So factory, the LQ4 comes with 9.5. I believe the LQ9, which is the Vortec Max, comes with 10 to 1 or 10.1 to 1. So this has more compression than a Vortec Max, but I'm going to raise it even more by milling these, and hopefully be around like 10.9 or 11 to 1, I believe is what you get. So that, the cam, and the bigger opening, bigger throttle body. The reason why I'm doing this, in case you don't know, this opening is larger than the one on these, 4.8, 5.3, 6.0 trucks, they have, I believe, a 78 millimeter little guy for a stock engine. That's probably fine, but with as much cubic inches and compression I got, and you want a little more airflow. So we're going to go to this guy, which is a 90 millimeter opening. I'll show you guys the throttle body itself. So that is the big old 90 millimeter Holley Sniper EFI throttle body. So this will obviously bolt right there. And I had to get Holley. Well, I didn't have to, I guess, but I got Holley because I am cable driven. They make this cable driven. There's some China made ones on eBay, but I figure if I'm spending this kind of money, I should probably get the good intake manifold, not mess around with something. Not saying they're bad, not saying no, you shouldn't run them, but for me, I just like to spend the money and do it right. So that is that. Alright, so I'm going to get things cleaned up a little bit. We're going to hop in the truck, stop by the car wash on the way to Summit because we don't want to show this thing off when it's filthy. I know it's kind of dirty right now, but nothing but dirt out here. So when the wind blows, it just gets caked in dust. One of the downfalls of living in a desert. Went into Summit just to get some parts for the 5.3 swap and ended up lucking out and finding an intake for the Colorado. So now we got something to do today. Got it for $100. So as you can see, we're back in my garage. I kind of got a little distracted. Ended up meeting up with a subscriber that showed me his 74 Chevy pickup that he swapped an LS into. Maybe one of these next times I'll take you guys along and show you his truck. It's pretty cool. But anyway, I think I figured out why this person returned this intake. I think they thought it was a whole intake, and this air raid kit for the Colorado was basically just a lid delete, which I would not have paid full price for, but seeing as I got it, like, I don't even know how much, it's like a third of the price. We'll go ahead and keep it, put it on, and go from there. I think what the deal is, this deal kind of holds the filter in, but it's kind of a snug fit. There we go. Cool. So it turns out today we had something to do after all. I ended up lucking out and getting an air intake for the Colorado. I do plan on doing, like I said, the tubing, I guess, because the factory one's all, I don't even know, it's like a bendy straw. So it just doesn't flow very well, and that stock resonator kind of hinders the flow of air. So we're gonna do that eventually down the line. Which all this I was planning on doing anyway. I just lucked out and happened to find that. Silverado, drove it around all day. It was pretty warm today. It was probably close to 80, and I'm worried that it's going to overheat because I have the small radiator. I have the 28, I believe. There's the big one that's like 34. I have the small one. In the wintertime, I didn't worry about it. It kind of stayed around 180-ish. With the 5.3, it never got up to 195 after I did the water pump. I don't know if it's a high flow pump or what, but it always seemed to run cooler. With the 6.0, it does get up to 195, and especially today it did. And I was keeping an eye on the gauge, and it never got above 195, so I'm really happy with that. But we have about another 20 degrees to go till summer. It gets above 100 degrees here, so we'll really see how well that water pump and those electric fans work. If it even budges past the 200 mark, I'm gonna get the bigger radiator. I don't want to because it means I gotta get different fans. I mean, I could sell mine, hopefully pay for some of the new ones, but I like to keep my stuff the way it is. But if I gotta do it, I gotta do it. It's the way it goes. As far as the transmission goes, it got a little warm, but I don't think it was any worse than it was without the stall and the normal, or the Cam 5.3, not normal, Cam 5.3. It actually runs a little cooler because I got the deep pan, so it keeps it under control a little more. It's got more volume. I'm still planning on doing the trans cooler. Summit has one. It's the Flexolite. It's either that one or the True K, I think, or True Cool 40K, I believe, is the big one that everyone likes. That one's a little more expensive, but I think it's better. So we'll see about that. Shipped out the cam that was in my 5.3. One of the subscribers helped me out selling it. I was gonna keep it, but we worked a deal out. So, and like I said earlier, it was really cool getting to meet one of my subscribers that was here in town. He's got a super sweet 74 Chevy pickup, or GMC, I believe it's GMC pickup, but then a 5.3, the L33, the aluminum block, and he went with the Stage 3 Texas Speed Cam, which is a 216, 220, and it sounds pretty badass. So one of these times I'll see if he's okay with it. We'll take you over there and we'll show you his truck. It's pretty cool. So that's going to do it for this video. Like, subscribe. We are one sub away from 600, so let's try and hit that tonight, and see you guys next week.